Hi, I'm Pav.
And I'm Neil.
And welcome to the Top 10 of Anything podcast.
Let's start the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There are not many names that, when you say them, spell out Hollywood legend. One such name is Steven Spielberg. With his own style and skill, he has thrilled and entertained for 6 decades, whether it's with a lovable alien, dashing archaeologist, or underwater predator. Spielberg knows how to make his audience cheer, weep, and laugh. Here's our own lovable alien and predator, Neil, with 10 Spielberg facts.
Thank you very much, Pav. So here we go. Spielberg's first movie was a Western at the age of 12. Spielberg was a Boy Scout and had to earn a merit badge for photography. His family camera was broken, so he asked to use his dad's video camera and made a Western called The Last Gunfight. Spielberg says, I was hooked, and that's how it all started.
I'll see you on the beach.
After graduating from high school, Spielberg moved to Los Angeles. Of course, he applied to the University of Southern California Film School and was rejected 3 times. He then applied to the California State University, where he was accepted.
Now!
And as a young director at Universal Television, there is one work in Spielberg's TV work, though, that stands out. In 1971, the young Spielberg directed the pilot episode to the iconic detective show, Columbo.
Just tell me how much yours and I'll pay you back.
$1.3 million.
As a young filmmaker in the 1970s, Spielberg wanted to make a James Bond movie. He unsuccessfully pitched ideas to Albert Cubby Broccoli on 2 separate occasions. Spielberg has won 2 Oscars for Best Picture and been nominated 6 times.
The list is life.
Did you know that both Drew Barrymore and Gwyneth Paltrow have Spielberg as their godfather?
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Spielberg has received 3 credits as writer instead of director, one for Ace, Eli and Roger of the Skies, Poltergeist and The Goonies.
Sayonara, sucker!
Steven Spielberg is one of those famous personalities who suffers from dyslexia all their lives. It is only in 2007 that he came to know.
I don't know. I'm making this up as I go.
And pop star Michael Jackson's song Librarian Girl features Steven Spielberg in the music video.
Did you say Librarian Girl?
Did I?
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Smile, you son of a...
Did I say Librarian? Never mind. It's thrown me now, Pat. The first movie ever seen by the now famous movie maker was back in 1952. The movie was Cecil B. DeMille's The Greatest Show on Earth, which also won the Oscar for the best movie the same year. Did I really say that?
E.T. Phone.
Thank you very much, Neil.
I'm going to have to listen back now.
I mean, it's fine. We're 3 minutes in. I've already got the trailer for the episode. So, Librarian. It was Liberian Girl, wasn't it?
Liberian.
You said Librarian Girl.
Did I really?
Yes, you did. We'll play the tape back later.
Oh dear, that's another train spotting incident.
It certainly is. Welcome, everybody, to the Top 10 of Anything podcast, and we're doing Top 10 Spielberg movies. Our guest joining us this week is one of our lovely Patreon supporters, but she's also a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone say hello to Joe. Hi, Joe.
Hello.
No, he definitely said librarian, didn't he?
I think he did, yeah.
I probably did. I know I probably did. Not thinking and just reading.
Librarian Girl. What a great
start. There, I didn't know. So
well,
there you are. You see,
we are, if nothing else, but not just entertaining, but educational as well.
Yes,
so,
and we're also very much like Ron Burgundy when we read things.
Yeah, I would love to get hold of your notes and write a few things in there, Neil, and see if you would read them out.
I would. Well, it doesn't even say librarian girl if I show you on there. I don't know why I read it as that.
Oh dear. So we're here to chat Spielberg. Now, arguably one of the greatest directors ever. I mean, also a producer and, like you said, writer and stuff. So Joe, I mean, is he your favorite director, would you say?
He's probably one of the only ones I know. To be honest. Well, he's huge, isn't he? He's still, you hear his name attached to many movies and films and stuff. So, yeah, no, yeah, he's probably up there.
Yeah, because it's the thing that you got to be careful with him as well, because you don't know what he's produced as well as directed.
Oh, that was the biggest thing, because there's things that he's produced and his name's on, but he's not directed. So, you know, I got quite excited by some of the films, but they're not included. So I was like, no.
Yeah, you had to stipulate it was going to be just a director. Yeah. And did you find, both Neil and Joe, did you find it easy? We'll start with you, Neil. Did you find it easy to compile your top 10 for Spielberg?
The first half, like the 1 to 5, I found quite easy. The from sort of 6 down to 10, I sort of had to shuffle a bit. Yeah, I didn't find it as easy from 6 to 10. I mean, I had the films. I had to drop some out, obviously, that I liked. But yeah, to put them in order, I found a bit tricky, the last few.
Joe?
I did, because I had to Google a list, and then I had to look at what I'd seen. I don't watch movies as much as I used to when I was younger. So I did think I'd re-watch them, but I just haven't had time. So I have to go on the memory that I have when I watched them. So a lot of them would have been as a kid. Yeah. But so I had to...
You mean like sort of 7 or 8 years ago, you mean?
Yes, of course. That's exactly what I mean, yeah. This is my friend.
Yeah. So, Joe, kick us off then with your number 10 Steven Spielberg movie. I ask you just while you take a gulp of drink. Look at that. Perfect.
Yeah. My number 10, I've got War of the Worlds in 2005 with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the one that was sort of teetering in my top 10, but it didn't make it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's an odd one, but I haven't seen all of his movies. There's some that I just haven't seen. So I think my list is going to be completely different to your twos.
There's nothing wrong with that. Everything is subjective.
Yeah, and I don't think that's the case. There's a lot of... When I did the same, I looked on IMDb and looked at his filmography, and I realised just how many of his movies I haven't seen.
Right.
You know, it was weird. I thought I'm quite an aficionado of Spielberg, you know, but I think it's more of his early to middle stuff rather than the stuff that he's done.
The recent stuff we've probably missed, haven't we? A few. I would be the same. Things like The Post and stuff like that.
Yeah, and even like West Side Story. I still haven't got around to seeing that yet.
That's very good.
Oh, is it?
I did try and watch that last week, but I haven't seen it. I never got a chance. But I'm very much I need a happy ending in a film.
Don't we all? We all like a happy ending, Joe.
Yeah. So no, as that came out of my mouth, I thought that doesn't sound right.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. And War of the Worlds is quite bleak in places.
It is very bleak, but it's one of the tensest films I think I've ever seen.
I think that's why it's at 10. You know, because it is quite sort of bleak and it's very sort of dark, and you can't really see what's going on a lot of the time, as I remember it. You know, but so it was my least favorite of the 10.
Yeah. And again, if you want a film where Tom Cruise is running, I mean, he's running in most movies, but he does a lot of running in War of the Worlds.
He does.
Especially running through the ashes of people that have just been vaporized. I can remember.
And I always say that film finishes perfectly at like about 5 or 10 minutes before the actual end. If you stop it there, it's a perfect movie. And then you got that weird bit when suddenly the sun's back and everything. Spoilers. For anyone who
Well, yeah, spoilers. There was no need for that.
No, not at all. He'd done it perfectly, and he didn't need to tack that little bit on the end. But otherwise, I think it's really tense, and all the cast are brilliant in it.
Indeed.
They really are.
Indeed. Good start there. Okay, then. Neil, you're number 10.
So this one might be a little bit controversial, but I actually love this movie, AI.
That's one of the ones I've never seen.
Oh, really?
That's my number 7.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think this is an absolute, almost like a childhood fable, isn't it? It's a wonderful, almost like a, what do you call them? Sort of one of those sort of kids stories. But it's obviously it was Kubrick's film. It was Kubrick's baby. He passed away, and Spielberg decided to resurrect it. And I just think it still looks amazing now. The effects in it are amazing and everything. What was it, 2001?
Yeah, it was 2001.
Yeah.
Joe's our walking IMDb. Look, I don't need to.
Well,
look at facts.
I did put the dates by them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
See, well done,
Yeah.
Joe.
Well
See,
done.
that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So does it feel and look like a Spielberg movie? Because I've never seen it.
Yes, but it also has essence of Kubrick. Does that make sense? Kubrick. Yeah. So because obviously,
what a perfume that would be. What do you think that would smell like, Neil? An essence of Kubrick.
Probably cigar smoke and
wet dog. I feel.
Yeah. But obviously it was his screenplay and it was his baby and it was going to be his next film and everything was to go, and he passed away on us. So Spielberg took the mantle and ran with it, and so he's kept a lot of it, but you can certainly see Spielberg shines in there, especially with a lot of the photography and everything like that. Yeah.
Oh, right.
But
yeah, I need to watch it.
And again, there's some moments in it. He knows how to do tension, doesn't he? He really knows, right from an early age, and he still does it. He really does, you know, and there is in that moment as well. And it's quite sad as well, and it tugs at the heart.
It is, yeah.
Is it?
And
so
should
you tell me? Because William Hurt, I didn't realize William Hurt was in it.
Yeah, it's a good film, Pab.
I don't know why I've never actually got around to watching it. It's weird. Quite a long film as well, 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, apparently, and that was cut down from what the original screenplay was.
Oh, was it?
It was a 3 hour plus.
Oh wow. Okay, another one on the list. Okay, my number 10 is another Tom Cruise movie. Is Minority Report.
Oh, that's my number 8.
There we go. We're getting through yours. I first of all, one thing I do love is I love the color palette of the movie. It's got that very washed out gray, sort of fuzzy around the edges kind of look, but the way that they show the future, or sort of the near future, if you like, is very believable. It's very believable in the way that, and it almost looks like that's how things are going to go. You know, facial recognition or eyeball recognition, which is one of the famous scenes in it where he has his eyeballs taken out and replaced, and but it's a really good whodunit as well. It's a really good. It makes you think. There's a lot of, right up to the moment. Again, sort of spoilers. The moment where it looks like he's going to kill somebody, you think, well, there's no way that he's going to make that turn and want to kill that person until that moment when you find out what's happened to his son, and that actually happens. Max von Sydow, Neil, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Max von Sydow.
Don't ask me, I say librarian.
That is true. I just think it's a really, really good futuristic action
Thriller.
Yeah, it is an absolutely fantastic movie. I prefer Tom Cruise, the later Tom Cruise movies. Just, I don't know why. I don't think he was cocky when he was a youngster. I just watched Top Gun Maverick.
Oh
yeah,
fantastic! It was fantastic. It was.
I
don't like the first Top. I don't like the first Top Gun at all. But it was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. So
yes, everybody says it's amazing.
Yeah, I was just very, very happy to.
Did everybody you go with enjoy it?
Well, my two daughters haven't even seen the first Top Gun, and they loved it. They got emotional. They thought that the action scenes were really, really, and the fact that it's all practically done as opposed to being CG made the world a difference. You're seeing them actually in the situations. Spoilers, but I thought it was really, really good. I really did. Good, few good sort of like callbacks to the past and a few sort of emotional moments. And Tom Cruise was just really good in it. Really, really good.
Oh, cool. I think he's a good actor. I do rate him.
I do, and that's another. That's a top 10 I'd like to do. Is top 10 Tom Cruise movies.
Yeah, and he's also he is a superstar.
He is.
He's very talented. He does get a lot of stick.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But
okay, then, Joe.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I love the way Tom Cruise looks after his fans as well.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He spends hours on the red carpet.
Yeah,
hours.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's great to us, isn't he, Neil? I mean,
he's lending us his bikes and cars. And
yeah. Okay, then, Joe, you're number 9.
Okay, my number 9. This is going to throw you. Is Hook.
Okay. Well, that's a good one.
You're both like.
Yeah, it's not in my top 10.
1991. I tell you for why I love the film. It's got Robin Williams in it, for one, and I just think it's very, very light-hearted, family, good fun film. Peter Pan grows up, and it's just. I just think it's a really good film. It's very well done, and it's funny. I just liked it.
I'm not quite sure why it got such the bad reviews and bad shrift that it got.
I think it started with the pre-production, didn't it? When they were filming it, there was a lot of like Julia Roberts obviously collapsed with exhaustion and all of that, and I think it just got bad press from them, and it was so undeserved because it's a lovely take on the Peter Pan story.
Yeah.
And Dustin,
it is, and it's a different take, isn't it? It's something completely different. So I enjoyed. I remembered really enjoying the film. Obviously, I watched it when I was a lot younger.
I haven't seen it in years.
No. And there's a couple of little cameos. I think isn't Phil Collins the policeman in it?
He is. Glenn Close
as a pirate and stuff. But it's a film I wouldn't mind revisiting, I must admit.
Yeah, you're just saying that.
No, because it genuinely is one of those movies that you think of because of the bad press it got.
Yeah.
But I think there was some. I think. Like say Dustin Hoffman was a lot of fun in that movie as Captain Hook, and it was a great little twist on the actual story of what happens when Peter Pan does grow up and he's forgotten about who he is. But no, that's a very good. There's nothing.
I enjoyed that.
The thing is, Joe, your top 10 is right. There isn't any wrong answers in your top 10 because it's your top 10.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole point. Go on then, Neil. You're number 9.
So it's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Ooh.
Is that the second one?
That is the second one.
Okay.
And I've got a lot of, I mean, it's only at number 9, but I've got a lot of affection for this movie as well as the others. I think it's great. We've spoken about it numerous times on other podcasts, and it's the darkest of the trilogy. I'm going to say the trilogy because number 4 doesn't exist. Yeah, it's fun. It's absolute. It's a joyride, isn't it? It's a real roller coaster ride, I should say, or a mine cart ride.
It is.
Yeah, and as you say, it's got the darkness. And do you know, after you told me a few weeks ago that they show the uncut version on Disney Plus, I sat and watched it again.
Did you?
It's graphic, isn't it?
It's very graphic.
Yeah.
And it's very dark and it's very nightmarish. That's the whole thing about it, which I think is what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, the second one always seems to be the darker of the in a trilogy, don't they? They do tend to go that way. But yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's great that they got everyone. They've got the animals included. So like the first one, they had the snakes. Then this one, you've got the bugs in that hallway or the alleyway, whatever you want to call it. And Harrison Ford seems like he's having a lot of fun in it.
Yeah.
So. What's not to love?
Yeah, it never made my top 10, but obviously I love the Indiana Jones movies. I do, and even got a little bit of love for some certain parts of Crystal Skull. Not a lot, but some.
Yeah, it's a hard one to get.
It is. Okay, my number 9 is Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. I'm ashamed to say I've never seen it.
Have you never seen it? It's a great romp, I would say. It's a great. Obviously, it's based on a true story. Frank Abagnale, I think his name is.
Something like that.
So it was just a con man going around, like getting free flights, trying to pretend that he was a plane driver. I was going to say
driver,
a pilot. That's what it is, isn't it? he's a pilot, but he's like just stealing money from different people, but not thinking that he's causing any problems.
Was he just a schoolboy?
He was too young to fly, I think, was one of the things that he was, but he was very obviously very brainy in working out how to do these things. But the FBI were on his trail, and in the end, there was only a matter of time before he was going to be caught. And I think he ended up then working for the FBI. In trying to find people that were conning people. But great performances from Tom Hanks and from Leonardo. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Leonardo DiCaprio do a bad performance.
Same with Tom Hanks.
Same with Tom Hanks. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Joe versus the volcano.
I don't think it's a bad performance. I just think it's a bad film.
Yeah. Okay, so Joe, your number 8 was Minority Report.
It was, yeah.
So, Neil, what's your number 8?
It is Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, that's my number 5.
That's my number 3.
Oh.
Now, I'll give my reason why it didn't go higher in the list for me. I think it starts as a perfect movie. It's got the perfect opening and probably the best war film ever seen on the opening. I think it shot his load a bit too quick. In a movie, I just think nothing else lived up to that opening sequence. Although it was very, very good all the way through. I don't want to criticize it because it is a very good film, but it drops you right in the heart of what I think war probably felt like back then.
Yeah, I think that's I picked number 3 because Matt Damon's in it.
All right,
very at the end, but And did you realise that Vin Diesel was in it?
Yes. Yes.
Because I didn't.
Oh, did you not? Yeah, he's one of the soldiers that gets killed sort of from the troop, doesn't he? Sort of quite early on in the derelict building.
Early? It's in the building,
sort of midway, but like they're looking at all the derelict buildings trying to help save that family, aren't they? And he gets taken out by one of the snipers and stuff. Yeah. It's funny what you say about like think it slowed early. I don't think they couldn't have kept that intensity up from the first 20 minutes.
No, obviously not.
But the thing is, I'll watch that first 20 minutes just in awe about how it looks, and like you say, how it must have been exactly on that day going on that beach. But I cannot watch that scene where that German is having that knife fight with the American,
the slow stab,
and he's slowly plunging it in, and the American's going, no, wait, I can't watch that. I just can't. It just feels too real. For me, and it's sometimes like one of his other movies that's in my top 10. Sometimes it's almost like if they'd have made it black and white, it'd be like it was a documentary.
Yeah,
that's how it's
very, very hard hitting. Very kind of
yeah. And I mean, again, it's very clever. There isn't really a happy ending, I suppose. I think we mentioned on another episode, didn't we, Neil, that the eyes that you see at the start, you think are Tom Hanks's eyes, but they're not. They're the old Matt Damon's eyes. So then when Tom Hanks dies, I wasn't expecting that. I think and just some of the shots are just breathtaking, and I think it needs those long pauses of them just walking around, because it just means you can just get your breath back and you can just set yourself for the next horrific thing that's going to happen.
The next assault.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, look at that. Is that the first one? That's the first one that we've all three chosen on. So that's good. My number 8 is Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, that nearly made my top 10.
Right.
That's my number 4.
That's your number 4. Apart from the fact that obviously it's got so many iconic visions and moments, the mashed potato mountain. For me, it's in my top 10 because of Richard Dreyfuss. I think his performance in that movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
The fact that he feels that he's going crazy and he can't stop himself, but then at the end, it's all sort of in front of him. Everything that he thought he was going crazy about is there at this mountain, and he gets taken off by the aliens at the end. It's a fantastic and so ahead of its time in regards to special effects.
So I would say that also Close Encounters of the Third Kind is a very sort of understated Spielberg film. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very
a slow burn as well.
It is. It really is. But again, it's very sort of bright. The cinematography in it is immense.
It does look more modern than what it was.
Yeah,
Only because I look. But the only reason it didn't make my top 10 is because I couldn't really remember it very well. So I thought I don't remember unless I watched it again, which I didn't have time to do. Then I thought it can't possibly be in my top 10 because I don't really remember it.
Well, that's fair enough.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But like I said earlier, the Richard Dreyfuss is just so good in it.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I did read somewhere that he wasn't the first choice to play that role. But,
that could well be right, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
but I can't actually remember. But I don't think it was ever regretted that he got the role. But I can't remember who was up for it first of all.
Yeah, I think he absolutely makes that movie. And I think obviously because he worked with Spielberg in Jaws, that it was maybe just even whoever they had planned for that role, he seems perfect for. You wouldn't think of anyone else doing that role now.
Not now, could you?
No. Definitely not. Right, okay. That's number 8. Number 7, Joe, you said AI, artificial intelligence. So then Neil, back to you for number 7.
Jurassic Park.
Oh, wow, that's my number 4.
That's my number 5.
Yeah, well, we can all say it has become a classic movie, hasn't it?
Oh, it's a brilliant movie. It's so exciting.
It is. I mean, basically Jaws with dinosaurs, isn't it? Really, in the sense. But I think it's a fantastic movie, and the fact that what was that 94, wasn't it? So the fact that hasn't dated, is it 94 or 95?
93.
93.
I've got 93.
Yeah, 93.
It doesn't look dated at all, and a lot of CGI films from then on look awful now, but that one just hasn't dated at all, and some great jump scares in it.
Yeah, it's a good.
It can still do the job of what it's supposed to do. Like I said, my grandson watched it for the first time a couple of weeks ago and was absolutely enthralled by it. He was scared by it. He was excited by it. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. He couldn't believe he could see real dinosaurs on the TV. He absolutely loved it. So it shows you.
Yeah, that's good.
It's nearly 30 years old.
Wow,
it's crazy.
And crazy. And just remember trying to get to see it at the cinema was impossible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's sold out for weeks.
Yeah. And the trouble they've had is they've tried to find with what the 5 movies that have come after it, they're just basically doing the same thing as the first movie instead of trying to think of doing something different. And Jurassic World was okay, I think, but the other ones are just not really done.
What about this last one? Hasn't that proven a bit quite popular?
Yeah, it seems to have been making lots of money, but the reviews I've heard of it has not been great. So, I haven't seen it yet. I think I need to go and see it just to sort of, because, sometimes reviewers can be a bit stuffy, can't they, about stuff?
Yeah.
It always seems to make a load of money. But
I mean, I know of one person that's seen it, and do you want to hear their review?
Go on then.
Utter shite.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. But I've heard the same thing. I've heard the same thing from other people that it's just not good.
Yeah.
But there you go.
But then sometimes, when you have low expectations, it can surprise you and you end up enjoying it.
That's right.
Yeah. It was it the first big kind of dinosaur movie that they've done? Or was that
the CGI, wasn't it? Jurassic Park was, but they used to do those 70s dinosaur ones with Doug McClure. Remember those?
Well, 1 million years BC, where it would be. It would be, a iguana that they just shot to make it look like it was massive and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was the first of its kind, definitely. And then because originally they were going to make them stop motion.
They were
animation, weren't they? Like the old Ray Harryhausen. Phil Tippett was going to do it, and then they worked out that actually the CGI might work and it might look believable, and it definitely was. And they mixed it with actual like puppets and maquettes. It's a fantastic. Yeah, it's one of those, along with things like Back to the Future and that. It's just a classic, perfect movie. The first one, without a doubt.
Sorry, what is CGI?
CGI is computer graphic images. Is that
computer generated images?
Computer generated images.
Okay, cool. Right.
Something like that. CGI, yeah, computer graphic imagery. I think.
Yes, I think. Yeah.
See, now there'll be people now listening, going, "You twat! No, it's not. It's this, that, and the other." I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to Google it now. I'm going to have to.
Jeeves.
as you're talking about, you know what you're talking about. You know what you mean. So, but I just didn't know what it meant.
Right.
You do know. Look,
So you're both saying it, and you know what it means. But it's just the wording, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
CGI.
But I do now. I'll forget.
Here we are. What does Jeeves say?
It says computer generated imagery.
Oh, there you go. That's what you said.
There you go. Oh, thank God for that. Okay, so my number 7 is Schindler's List.
Oh, that's my number 3.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I've not seen it.
Right. Now,
it's a hard watch.
First time I watched this, me and my brother went to the cinema and we watched this and the Tom Hanks movie Philadelphia in the same day.
Oh, wow.
Happy day.
As a double bill. Oh my God. It was such hard work. And again, Schindler's List is the other one that I said is like a documentary. The way that it's shot, and it is. I mean, you can't say you enjoy watching Schindler's List.
No,
there's amazing performances.
The making and the movie,
but it is just gut punch after gut punch.
I couldn't watch it. That's why I've not.
Yeah.
I chose never to watch it. I know the story, and it would be too heartbreaking. I couldn't do it.
You know, the fact that he was making this whilst making Jurassic Park as well.
Yeah,
it's crazy, isn't it? Made it at the same time.
Actually, I did hear that he was told, yes, you can do Schindler's List, but you have to do this dinosaur movie first.
Yeah,
right.
So I
feel it's almost like it was he needed that just to cleanse his palate a little bit, just to get all of that out.
Fun and
Well, it's a very personal film to him.
Oh, absolutely,
it's very personal. But it's the first film I've ever been where nobody moved when the end credits came up until all the end credits had finished. Not one person in the audience.
Really?
Yeah.
Was everybody just sort of shocked and a bit kind of
upset?
Yeah. I've never seen it. It's shameful, but
I mean, the whole movie, Joe, is in black and white, apart from one sort of shot of a girl. You can make out
in a red coat.
That's it.
I've seen the shot. I've seen it. I just get too upset with things like that. I would be upset for weeks.
Yeah, it's not something you can have repeated viewings of, is it?
No.
It's not something you chuck on a Friday night with the family.
And popcorn. No, but I've heard it's an amazing movie. So that was your number 7.
That was my number 7. That was
my number 3. Yeah,
and your number 3.
But watch Ray Fiennes in it is just so chilling. He's probably the nastiest. Well, let's call him a villain that you'll ever see on celluloid. I think.
But then he wasn't in anybody's top 10 movie villains.
Do you know why? Because I forgot about it. Really.
Yeah. But you think about it, he was. And the fact that he was a real person as well makes it even worse. You know,
cold and heartless. Yeah.
Indeed. Right then, Joe, your number 6, please.
My number 6 is actually Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first one. I decided that I was not going to do any others, in the series. So that's why the one you said, Neil, I didn't put in my top 10. So there was going to be Jurassic Park and none of the others after. And it was going to be Raiders of the Lost Ark and none of the others after. So, the first one, it was very exciting, very kind of, as a kid watching it came out in 1981, so I was 10. So all very exciting and just it was good. I remember loving it, enjoying it. Yeah.
I'm not going to say. I'll keep my powder dry on this one. I think.
Oh no, go on.
No, I can. I'll maybe talk about. I'll talk about it a little bit later. Shall I? Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Neil.
I will say one thing. I can't say too much.
Spoilers.
But I can remember seeing that at the cinema as well, and just the sheer joy of the first time of seeing it with the family at the cinema was just amazing. I don't think I've recreated that again, because you had Star Wars in 78. We saw that, and then that in 81. Oh, the joy.
Yeah, I can remember that.
It was an amazing film.
Yeah, I remember Dad took us to the cinema. I think it was my birthday to go and watch it, and it must have been my birthday because I had a couple of mates that came with me, and one of my mates dropped, I think, his sweets or something on the floor, And then as he got up, it was the moment that the snake was coming out of the mummy's mouth. He absolutely shat himself. Absolutely shat himself, because there was this, I don't know, 50-foot screen and then this big snake coming out of a mummy's mouth, and which was horrific. And again, we've said it before, there's loads of horrific moments in Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it's a great movie. We'll talk about it maybe a little bit more later. I mean, the thing is, over these podcasts that we've done, we've talked about Raiders loads and loads of times anyway, haven't we?
Oh, have you?
We have, yeah. It's just one of our favorite movies. But Neil, do your number 6, please.
So, talking of Indiana Jones, it's The Last Crusade.
That's my number 6 as well.
There you go. Wasn't it lovely to have Sean Connery join the fold as the dad? Yeah, I just think it was a perfect swan song of the trilogy.
They had such great chemistry together as well, the two of them.
Yeah, and the whole cast, when Denham Elliott was back there as well.
Yeah, he was allowed to really just like roam free and be totally stupid, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Absolute comic relief in that movie.
Absolutely, the bit of the horse on the when he's riding the horse is just fantastic. But the whole setup, it almost is perfect as Raiders, to be honest.
Yeah,
there's a few moments that aren't so great in it, but not many. But yes, a great film. And I, like Pav said, the chemistry between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery was just fantastic. And there was only 8 years difference between them?
Yeah, there wasn't much. I would love to have seen a couple of movies with the two of them. Would have been great.
Yeah, it would have worked, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And River Phoenix at the start as well, doing the
set up the story of Indy, didn't it?
Yeah.
Showed how he got the scar on his chin, his fear of snakes, why that happened. Great opening.
Yeah, fantastic movie.
And is Pat Roach in that one?
He was in. He is very, very slightly. You know what was the name of the big balloon?
Oh yeah,
the airship.
Yeah,
he was like the, I don't know what you want to call him, the guy that was at the on the floor with all the luggage.
Right.
And you just see him running onto the thing. There was a massive scene, I think, with him when they get into the airplane that's attached to the ship. But that got cut out. So he was in it, but obviously not in it to the extent that he was for Raiders and Temple of Doom. Yeah. Old Bomber. Old Bomber. So that was my number 6 as well. So Joe, your number 5 was Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So Neil, what's your number 5?
It's E.T.
E.T. That's my number 3.
So I was pretty obsessed with this film when I was younger. I can remember buying the single, went to see it every year it was released because it took forever to come out on VHS. Do you remember? It took years and years after release because they kept releasing it. Every summer it would come back. I mean, to me, if you would tally up all its box office, surely it must be one of the biggest box offices ever because of how long it kept coming back. But regardless of that, what a great story, a great comedy, and what a way to tug at the heartstrings.
Oh,
I don't think there was a dry
it's on
eye
most
in
Christmases now, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, so much so that I've got older, I get a bit more emotional. I get emotional over TV adverts. I struggle to watch E.T. There's straight away at the beginning when he's left behind. I feel so sorry for him. And it makes I struggle to watch it now.
And also it's the thing of its time as well, because if they remade that, E.T. would be CG.
Oh yeah.
And it wouldn't be the same. I think the fact that it was a little puppet and somebody inside it like waddling along. Yeah. And you say about the video, Neil, I can remember my dad got a pirate version of it, but E.T. wasn't the same when he had a patch on his eye and a parrot on his shoulder. Hey!
Yeah,
but we had a I don't know where he got it from. I mean,
they did the rounds.
Our old chap knew some dodgy people back in the day, but it was like the screen was really dark. It was an awful picture, but the fact that you could see it, like you watched it like 20 times or whatever, and that the ending when it's I'll be right here, and it's so
they
sweet.
talked,
you guys.
I know, we're just a couple of softies, aren't we?
And they talked about doing a sequel, didn't they?
Well, did you ever see that the Sky advert?
Yeah,
a couple of years ago
with Elliot all grown up.
Yeah. I thought that was so sweet. It was a Christmas ad, wasn't it? I think
it was. Sky, I forgot about that.
It was so sweet, and it was literally ET2. That's what it was. They should. Well, I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't do an ET.
No,
because it's gone. You know, it's too late.
It's a great
No, I think
standalone
they
film.
should.
It's so good though. Okay, so my number 5 was Saving Private Ryan. So Joe, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Jaws.
Oh,
That's my number 2.
1975.
That's my number 2 as well.
I tell you for why that it's not higher is because it's so dated now, and when you watch it now, the shark just looks ridiculous. But it's a brilliant film, and I shat myself, and I think it's what's given sharks a bad name. You know,
Oh, for sure.
that film as what's given like shark bad name. But yeah, no, I remember seeing it as a young kid in the army. We had a cinema day, so I went into the screening room, and I think as soon as it started, I'd left. I was only young, but you know, I shat myself with it. But I did like it, yeah. But watching it now, it's so dated and it's a brilliant film.
I've never heard a woman say "I shat myself" so many times in the space of like 30 seconds.
I can't film though, honestly.
Oh yeah, it still does now. If you
It
watch
still
it now,
does.
It still creeps you
Yeah,
out.
it's got to be in your top 10, hasn't it?
Oh,
It's such
without
a
a
big
doubt.
film.
It's
mean-
another perfect movie. It's another
It
perfect
is.
movie.
We banned about iconic, but that film really is, right from its music right through
Yeah.
to, you know, not seeing the shark for ages. You'll see the fin, a little bit of it, because they obviously
Yeah.
had the technical difficulties trying to bring a shark in the sea. Robert Shaw is just,
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss again.
Richard Dreyfuss and Roy Schneider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Bless him.
Who said the iconic line, "You're going to need a bigger boat,"
That's right.
which apparently was ad-libbed. He'd ad-libbed it, so they kept it. But yeah,
that whole
no,
scene
it's
is fantastic, isn't it? Because he's
Yeah.
shoveling the fish guts in. Why don't you come down here and shovel some of this shit? And then it really, literally is a jump scare.
Yeah.
Up
Yeah.
he comes. Yeah, brilliant.
There's some
Yeah.
great jump scares in there. Though.
Mm.
That the guy's head bobbling out of the bottom of the boat
Yeah.
is another great jump scare. Where I've said before, my cousin poked me in the eye. We both tried to hide behind a cushion, and she poked me right in the eye at that moment. I was like, my eye always throbs at that moment.
That's memory.
That is memory. Okay, so Neil, your number 4 was Close Encounters.
It was.
My number 4 was Jurassic Park. Joe's number 3 was Saving Private Ryan. Neil's number 3 was Schindler's List. My number 3 was E.T. So, Joe, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Empire of the Sun.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good film.
So
Yeah.
I didn't realise again. I that Christian Bale was in it.
Yeah, it's his first movie.
It was a boy.
I think, and Ben Stiller, and I think it's just a really good, well done film from a spoiled little boy that goes into a prisoner of war camp and is a little sort of wheeler dealer. Happy little soul, actually. Yeah, so that's my number 2.
I've never seen it.
Have you never seen it?
I've never seen it.
This is one you really must see.
Right.
Yeah, it's quite it's nice. It's sad. It's nice, but it's nice.
I was going to say it's not like obviously it's not a comedy or anything, but
No.
what is it? An action film? Was just a drama?
A drama, I would say.
Yeah.
Right.
But it has
There's
very
not
comedic moments in, as well as quite sad moments as well.
Yeah. John Malkovich is in it. Ben Stiller. It's
right.
yeah, no, it's a good.
I love John Malkovich. He's
Yeah,
There's a
he's very
love-
good.
There's a lovely scene which I always think of when people mention the movie of little Christian Bale running along the top of this like hill, and the plane flying low, and he's just, you know, regardless of whether it's an enemy or not, he's so excited to see the plane, and he's waving.
And that's it. He salutes the Japanese, you know, the people that have imprisoned him. And he sings for them, and you know, he's just like it's just a little boy, kind of caught up in this. But yeah, so that was my number 2.
okay, and again, feels like a Spielberg movie.
For sure, without a doubt.
Really?
Without a doubt, yeah.
Okay.
It's sort of, I mean, not subject matter, but the style, it's sort of a little bit like The Colour Purple. You've seen that one, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that sort of style, where you have moments that you could laugh in, and also the sad moment. It sort of brings me in question of that. It was probably a couple of years after The Colour Purple. He was in that phase, wasn't he? So
I need
1987.
I'll definitely need to watch that one then.
Yeah, it's a great.
I don't know why it's never come on my radar. I really don't.
Yeah,
that's very, very strange.
Yeah,
very strange.
It would be quite up your street, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it.
Sold. Okay. Neil, your number 2 was Jaws, as was my number 2. So before we reveal our number 1s, Joe, do you want to give us a rundown from 10 to 2, please?
Okay. So my 10 is War of the Worlds. 9 was Hook. 8, Minority Report. 7, AI. 6, Raiders of the Lost Ark. 5 was Jurassic Park. 4 was Jaws. 3 was Saving Private Ryan. 2 was Empire of the Sun.
Oh, lovely. Neil, your 10 to 2, please.
Absolutely. So at number 10, I had AI. Number 9, Temple of Doom. Number 8, Saving Private Ryan. Number 7, Jurassic Park. Number 6, Last Crusade. Number 5, E.T. Number 4, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Number 3, Schindler's List. Number 2, Jaws.
Wonderful. And mine was... excuse me. Number 10, Minority Report. Number 9, Catch Me If You Can. 8, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. 7, Schindler's List. 6, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. 5, Saving Private Ryan. 4, Jurassic Park. 3, E.T., The Extra Testicle. And 2, Jaws. So, Joe, what is your number 1 Steven Spielberg movie?
It's E.T.
E.T.
Gotta be E.T.
Yeah.
I love the film. I still went to Florida a couple of years ago, went to the park. There was the E.T. ride, which was mainly for kids. Got on it. The music, I just felt such nostalgia. And I went, I just need to go in and watch that film. It's just so lovely. My favourite scene is when they're drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Comedy in it as well. It's just, a film about a good family film, about friendship and loyalty and just trust. It's just an amazing film. That's definitely my favourite.
It really is.
Yeah.
I always forget about that scene when they have all the frogs and all the frogs come back to life and been around and eating Henry Elliot, sorry.
Elliot, lets them all go. Lets them free,
lets him go. And he gets his first kiss as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And the teacher was supposed to have been Harrison Ford, wasn't it?
It was supposed to
be. It was supposed to be, yeah. And I'm sure, didn't he?
I thought he did it because his wife wrote the movie, didn't he? His wife at that time.
Because I'm sure if you look at the Blu-ray like special edition, there is a scene with him in it, I think.
Yeah, because I still think this might be him, actually.
Yeah, but you just don't see his face, do you?
No.
Well, that's because they shot it at eye level, children's eye level, for most of the film until they only saw the mum's face as the adult, and then halfway towards the end, that's when you saw the other adults' faces. But before that, it was all shot at children's eye level.
And I'm glad they reversed all that dodgy CGI they did as well. Because remember, all the police were chasing the kids; they had guns and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They CGI'd them all out and put them all with
walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Spielberg did say that was one of his big regrets that they did that, wasn't it? And then they changed it back, didn't they?
Oh.
Yeah. Although I think they changed it back. Did they change it back? And they had nothing in their hands, didn't they? I think.
I can't remember. But it doesn't. It's not like any kids got shot, was it?
No, it's such a great ending. And the fact that moment when some amazing acting from Henry Thomas when E.T. supposedly he thinks he's died.
Yeah.
And then that realization when he walks out the door that he sees that the flower is sort of coming back to life.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That lifts me. That's a good film.
I haven't seen that film I must watch that film again.
Yeah.
You see, I'm like that, and I watched it I went to watch it a couple of years ago, and I thought, I can't do it. I'm just going to be blubbering mess here in front of everyone. So
there's nothing wrong with crying, Neil. You should let your
but when you're at a kid's birthday party, it's wrong, isn't it?
So are your two's number 1 going to be the same?
I think they are. Should we say it at the same time, Neil?
Go on then.
Are you sure? Shall we?
Ready, steady.
1, 2, 3.
1941.
No.
It's Raiders of the Lost
Of
Ark.
course
Yeah,
it is. It was very close for me between
gathered
Raiders and
that.
Jaws. It was very close, I must admit. But for me, Raiders is in my top 10 movies of all time, let alone top 10 Spielberg movies.
Yeah.
I got that when you were talking about it. I thought, okay, I know what these two's number one is.
It's one of those. I don't think there's, with most movies, probably 99% of movies, there's always a bit in it that you could go, that's a little bit cheesy, or that's a little bit, no, I don't like that bit. I don't think there's a single scene in Raiders that I can say I don't like, or I don't enjoy.
Or it doesn't belong.
Or it doesn't belong, or it's just badly written, or it's a bad shot, or the acting is crap. It's a complete perfect movie for me.
We've said it many times.
Many times.
Throughout the years of doing podcasting, it is a perfect movie, and there's not.
I'm going to have to watch it again because obviously it's been a long time. It was in my top 10, but because I remember liking it, but I'm going to have to watch it again, I think, to see.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed, Joe.
No, I think, I might watch it tonight.
Hasn't dated. That's what is so lovely. You know, a perfect movie you can watch is timeless, and that one is.
And that's the thing about period piece movies, isn't it? It's never going to be. It's never going to feel like it's sort of out of time. It's never going to feel like it's dated, because it's all right. You could say the special effects maybe are slightly dated, but I think they hold up well for what they're supposed to do. Yeah. It's a fantastic,
and the
fantastic
stunt
movie.
work in it.
Oh, it's
just out of this world.
We were watching it on Sunday because I think they're on Sky, and I was telling my missus that like these are like old school stuntmen doing these things. That these stunts, especially the one where Indy goes underneath the truck.
That's it.
I mean, that is one that's been passed down from movies from the 30s and 40s. And these are proper old school stuntmen that will break legs. I mean, like stuntmen they do it, but they're on wires and stuff like that. These guys weren't on wires, or these are guys that are doing it properly.
They did it
if
for
they
real.
fall, they're going to break their neck.
Vic Armstrong.
Vic Armstrong was the main one, but there was another guy that I can't remember what his name is, and I feel really bad about it. But he was the one that did the under the truck.
Yeah, stunt. And Harrison Ford did quite a bit.
He did quite a bit as well.
You won't be able to do that these days with health and safety.
Exactly.
No, exactly. Well, you can see a stunt go wrong there's a couple, but the main one is when they're in the Well of Souls, Joe, when they're down with all the snakes and he gets on the statue and rocks it.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to stay on the statue, but if you watch it, the stuntman's still on it when it goes through the wall. That went wrong, but they kept it in because it looked so good.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And the Vic Armstrong book is a great book as well, if you ever get a chance to read that. It's another book that I've actually read, Neil, which is amazing. There's not many. There's not many of them.
Yeah.
Okay, we had a few honourable mentions. At Modern Escapism said Jurassic Park is one of my favourite films of all time. We even voted it the best movie ever in our knockout tournament. Other Spielberg 5 out of 5 films: Schindler's List, Jaws, Raiders, and Saving Private Ryan. At Leroy Francisco, what a great name that is, Leroy Francisco. Raiders of the Lost Ark, probably my favourite film by any director. At Matt_Rants said they are perfect films, but it is pure emotion that makes Jurassic Park, E.T. and Jaws forever my joint number one. And then they also have Raiders, Schindler's List, Hook, very clearly showing my age, he says on there. Empire of the Sun, War of the Worlds, and then 9 and 10, everything else. Lisa Buchanan says probably Jaws, followed by Raiders, Jurassic Park, E.T., Catch Me If You Can. If any of these are on TV, everything in my house stops. And Kim Thomas Simons says Raiders always. So there you go. Thank you very much, everybody, for your honourable mentions.
You. But nobody mentioned Always.
No, that's another film I've never seen.
Yeah.
And The Colour Purple, I was quite surprised. That's another film I haven't watched because of the theme to it. I won't watch it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some films are just too hard to watch. Like I say, I wouldn't if I'm thinking I'm bored, I'm gonna whack Schindler's List on. That'll be a nice entertaining Sunday afternoon.
No, you have to prepare yourself to watch it again.
Yeah.
You have to. Yeah. I don't think it's a movie you can just stick on, just have something on in the background,
Joe,
you know.
I know it's hard and you haven't seen it, but I would recommend getting through it. It's almost rewarding in its own way, and it really does tell you.
I think it's one of those movies that everybody should watch at least once, because just for the education of the fact that is what human beings can do to each other.
Oh God, you see, that's what I can't take.
Yeah, but I think it's that kind of thing is like you just feel that everybody like all everybody should it should never be forgotten that things like this has happened in our history. So it's almost like it is a historical document of that time, and I'm sure that's what Spielberg did it. One of the reasons he did it for was to make sure that everybody, they don't forget that these things.
I believe they show it in schools now, don't they?
And it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a tough watch, but it's you know,
well worth it.
Worth it.
It's always, was that Richard Dreyfuss? I know it's Holly.
It was. Yeah, I think John Goodman as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was all right. It didn't feel like a Spielberg film overly, apart from the cinematography, but it's all right.
Well, there you go. That's our top 10 Spielberg. We got there in the end. It feels like this one's been going on for like 3 hours. And we've only been recording, Joe, about an hour. So thank you, Joe. Before we say our proper goodbyes, Neil, you want to tell everybody how they can get in touch?
Absolutely. You can get in touch with us through the library with the librarian girl. Please do contact her. She'll tell you where to go.
Classic Neil.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Librarian girl.
Well, it was a great song. Anyway, you can find us on all the social media at Top 10 Pods. Do please give us a like, give us a click, give us a follow. Email us at toptenpods@hotmail.com. Come and support the podcast at patreon.com/Top 10 Pods, where there's all sorts of rewards where, like Joe, you could be a guest yourself on the pod. Please check out all the links via the Linktree. You can find the link in the show notes. And do please come and subscribe, leave us a rating and review wherever the hell you get your podcast from.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for coming and joining us. I hope that wasn't too bad, was it?
No, that was fine. Actually, that was very good.
Yeah, apart from
I was a little bit worried because
apart from the technical issues.
I think you're both movie buffs. Yeah, but no, that was very good.
Yeah, see, we say we are, especially me, and the amount of classic movies that I haven't seen, I don't think I can call myself a movie buff. That's the thing.
There's not enough time in the world to get through them all, Pat.
No.
Believe me, I'm trying.
I'm just waiting for the time when we can just insert it in the chip in the back of our head, and then you know that we've seen it. That's the way to do it. But Joe, thank you very much for your support.
You're very welcome.
And I'm sure you'll come back and we'll do the top 10 Tom Cruise movies or something like that. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Good. So should I just leave now?
No, that's fine. We'll just say goodbye, and then you can leave. Bless her heart. She wants to go. Look, she wants to go. Don't tell me you're not shitting yourself again, are you?
No, I'm not shitting myself. I'm fine.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thank you so much, Neil.
Thank you. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much, Pav. It's been a pleasure and fun.
Good. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening and for watching. And let's go start the countdown.
10, 9.